Hello everyone! Yoshi's Fabrication Station is a Yoshi's Island styled level editor that is 100% playable in your browser, with a downloadable version as an option. I will leave the link for the game in the description of this video, so you can check it out. And how exactly do you make levels in it? Is it that different from the likes of Mario Maker 2, Super Mario Bros. X, or even Super Mario Construct? Well, fret not my friend, I will tell you everything you need to know in order to use Yoshi's Fabrication Station for making beautiful and colorful levels. So the first thing we need to do before diving into the editor is to understand how it feels to play a classic 2D Mario game, say like Super Mario World, and how it feels to play Yoshi's Island. We need to get a grasp of the physics and mechanics at play, which is going to be absolutely essential when designing our levels. Now don't worry, I will simplify this step for you by showing the 4 main differences between both games. And here's how it is. There is no sprinting in Yoshi's Island, meaning when you hold left or right, Yoshi will start sprinting automatically. There are no power-ups in Yoshi's Island like you see in Super Mario World. Instead, what makes sections easier are green and red egg blocks. When once hit, provide you with throwable eggs and an extra platform to get to higher places, respectively. Spikes in Yoshi's Island insta-kill you when you touch them, no matter how much HP you have left in your star meter, while back in Super Mario World, you take 1 hit point of damage if you have a power-up. And lastly, Yoshi boasts a more extensive moveset. Instead of solely relying on stomping and on power-ups, he can also hit enemies with his tongue and transform them into throwable eggs when he swallows them, which is something you must always have in mind when designing a level in Yoshi's Fabrication Station. So let's jump into the game! So here we are at the title screen. We're now on the Make and Play tab, which is definitely where we're going to spend pretty much all of our time in the game. The others here are for options and more info if you're interested in knowing a bit more about the game, including an invite link to the game's Discord server. Anyway, the green button, Level Editor, is what you want to click whenever you want to make levels, which leads to a menu with 3 slots, which is a total of levels you can store simultaneously inside the game. If you want to save more levels, I highly recommend to save them locally in your computer, in either Word documents or TXT files, as all in-game saved data is deleted when you clear your browser's cache. Each slot is comprised of 2 buttons, Load, which shows a big white block where you paste text-based level codes, which are automatically updated each time you make changes in that said level, be it a level you're working on or someone else's creation. Plus New creates a new level and takes you to this menu where you choose 3 layers for your level's background. From front to back, we have foreground, in between, and background. Each of these layers have certain themes which you can select one of several color palettes. Moving down the menu, there's the gradient menu, where you can apply one of the included color gradients that will replace the background layer if you leave it as blank. Once you're done choosing all of your background's colors, you can hover the mouse over this pink window in the middle to see how everything will look like should you decide to start building. Over here on the right, you can select the music for your level. As of this version, there's a total of 9 musics to choose from, more to come in future updates. This tab down here is where you give your custom level a name. Just click on the white rectangle and type in your level name. Lastly, if you want your level to have no height at all, in other words, only scrolls horizontally, check this box at the very bottom that says only have 1 screen of white space. Otherwise, leave this unchecked. With this menu covered, let's hit plus new at the bottom right to start building a level! Here we go! Alright, so the first thing you're greeted with is this prompt window explaining certain tips, such as how to place and remove tiles, objects and enemies, how to switch layers, and how to disable or enable the grid. I will make a quick overview of what Level Editor has to offer, so feel free to pause the video whenever you want to and take note of these key shortcuts. You can move around the level with both the arrow keys and with WASD keys. You can also change Yoshi's starting point wherever you like by clicking and dragging him to the place you want the player to start the level. The toolbar at the bottom is where you will find everything you want to place inside your level. Let's start with tilesets, which are in the first tab. Clicking on one of these icons shown here takes you to their respective tileset. For this example, let's pick this flowery tileset. Now, this layout can be intimidating if you never use the 64 by 64 pixel sized tile blocks, these bigger ones. but after a while, you will quickly get used to them, as everything is laid out with the purpose of showing you the correct way to tile them. There is one tile set where you have the option of using the smaller tiles if you want to build custom shaped blocks, but I only recommend doing that once you feel comfortable enough with the editor, and when you acquire a better understanding of the tile sets themselves. Simply left click on a tile and left click again and or drag it to place it along the level, and right click on it if you want to remove it. You will also see color palettes in certain tile sets. Simply click on the color you want to change the tile set color. The Crystal Cave tile set in particular has this very nice shimmer visual effect. All you have to do is to check the box to add it to this tile set. To remove it, simply uncheck the box. Semi-solids are also in the tile set tab. They're right in the first icon, and when you click on it, all the semi-solids appear in this white window, which you can move to any place in the editor by clicking and dragging it. Now, here's how the semi-solids themselves work. When placed, each semi-solid has one blue handle and at least two yellow handles. Clicking and dragging the blue one lets you adjust the position of the semi-solid, be it a bridge or a mushroom gorge. Dragging the yellow handles adjusts the size of the semi-solids, as you can see it happen on screen. The mushroom gorges have this extra yellow handle at the bottom, which adjusts the height of the stem. The Decorations tab shows every piece of scenery objects available. Clicking on the icon here shows a movable window containing the objects. And this brings us to layers. As shown before, there is a total of 2 layers, which are simply called Layer 1 and Layer 2. The editor is by default open in Layer 1, which is usually used for our main tiling. Layer 2 in itself is optional, but is generally recommended for decoration, scenery placement, and for any contraption you want to hide. At least that's how I usually use these 2 layers. Layer 2 for scenery and Layer 1 for everything else. And here's a friendly reminder, you switch between layers by simply pressing L. Next up, we have objects. These are even simpler to use. Just pick the objects of your liking by clicking on them. However, some of these have a few extra options. For example, if you select our good boy Poochie here, place him and then double click on him, this extra option appears. There are a few more objects that have extra options like this, and they are accessed in the same way, by double clicking on them. Pretty much the same applies to enemies, though with most of them you can only do so much as to flip the direction they're going to move, be it by clicking on the control key or by double clicking. And there are certain enemies that are not customizable at all, leaving you the option of simply placing them wherever you want. But the ones that are customizable have similar menus to the ones we've seen with objects, and they are accessed by, you guessed it, double clicking! Again, you can change certain properties exclusive to certain enemies, like with Podoboos. Bosses aren't available in the game yet, which is why I'm leaving them for a separate video once they do come in Yoshi's Fabrication Station. After you've done placing everything in your new custom level, hit the Settings tab over here at the far right. If the name you've given to the level initially doesn't sound that good in your head anymore, you can always change it here, as well as the music. Clicking the Desk button allows you to write a short description of your level. I advise doing this if your level makes use of certain glitches or specific skills that must be known to whoever's going to play your level. Quit takes you back to the level slots menu, and Play allows you to play the level by yourself. And that's pretty much how the level editor works. Back into the main menu, we have this blue button called Play Level, which is used to play other people's levels without storing the level code in the game. Now, if you ever find yourself in a dead end when it comes to level ideas, checking out sample levels is a great way to find some inspiration for your levels. For now, there are a total of 14 sample levels, all of them made by this game's developer, Luigi Bonus. All of them have the purpose to show the player how each object, enemy, and every other feature work in the game, giving you a more visual idea of what's in the editor and realize what you can do in Yoshi's Fabrication Station. And that's it! I hope I helped you today with understanding how Yoshi's Fabrication Station works, even if it's a little bit better. As always, thank you so much for watching and subscribe to my channel for more Mario level making content like this. If you don't want to, that's okay. Stay safe and have a great day. Peace.